Luke chapter 20, reading from verse 20. So they watched Jesus and sent spies who pretended to be honest in order to trap him by what he said, so as to hand him over to the jurisdiction and authority of the governor. So they asked him, "Teacher, we know that you are right in what you say and teach, and you show no deference to anyone, but teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to the emperor or not?" But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, "Show me a denarius." "Whose head and whose title does it bear?" They said, "The emperor's." He said to them, "Then give to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's." And they were not able in the presence of the people to trap him by what he said, and being amazed by his answer, they became silent. He looked up and saw rich people putting their gifts into the treasury. He also saw a poor widow putting in 2 small copper coins. He said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all of them. For all of them have contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put in all she had to live on." Thanks be to God. To God the things that are God's. Taxation has always been a controversial subject, but at least in our country, however unpopular taxation is, it is what provides our medical services and all our other support networks for which we're so profoundly grateful at the moment. But in first century Judea it was an entirely different matter. For one thing, taxation was what propped up the Roman Empire, the occupying force. It was what took our resources and handed it to our enemy to allow them to oppress us. But it was worse than that. "Show me a denarius," Jesus says when he's asked that thorniest of questions for a would-be Jewish Messiah: should we pay taxes or not? I have a little silver Roman denarius here. It's a little tarnished after 2,000 years, and the inscription is rather worn, but originally the inscription would have read, "Tiberius Caesar, Divi Augustus Filius," or in other words, "Emperor Tiberius, son of the Most High God." This coin was blasphemous to any monotheistic Jew. It proclaimed that God had a son, the very blasphemy for which the authorities were about to condemn Jesus, and yet those very authorities carried it about in their person. Whose head is this? And whose title? Whose title? I imagine there must have been a pause at that moment as the words stuck in the throats of the Jewish authorities. Come on, who bears the title Son of the Most High God? Caesar, they admit. Well, they can't answer otherwise, can they? Jesus doesn't have to reply because the response is so clear. So, you are happy to proclaim this Gentile as the Son of the Most High God when all he has done is to oppress you. But you will crucify me for being in truth the Son of the Most High God, when all I have done is to bless you. You are willing to carry his coin around in your pocket and offer it to him in tribute, but you cannot give me even the smallest corner of your hearts when I ask it of you. Then give to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, but to God the things that are God's. What belongs to God? Well, everything, of course. Give it all to God, because God gives it all to you. In our first session, we thought about giving ourselves to God as being like accepting a proposal of marriage. And in a marriage service, the bride and groom enter into a covenant with each other. They do it by exchanging rings and by saying, "All that I am, I give to you, and all that I have, I share with you." Now, from the earliest chapters of the Bible, God describes his relationship with us as being a covenant, a marriage, in effect, in which he gives everything to us. And here we see the very nature of that relationship, giving everything to God. The widow, giving all that she had to live on, was entering into that covenant. But what about us? For his part, God is still holding the ring out on the end of our finger, saying, all that I am I give to you, and all that I have I share with you. Will you share everything that you are and everything you have with me? What are the things of God? Well, of course, above all, we are. However broken or poor we might be, or a bit battered and tarnished like my little coin here, we are all of infinite value to God, and we belong to him, and he desperately wants us back. Can we find it in our hearts to say back to him, all that I am I give to you, and all that I have I share with you. Give to God the things that are God's.